second speaker, Dr. David Wong. He is the Vice President of the Australian Association of Traditional Chinese Medicine and Acupuncture. He is the President of Nanjing University of Chinese Medicine Australia Alumni Association. And because of his extraordinary contribution, he was awarded a certificate of recognition by the Hon. John Howard, Prime Minister of Australia in 2001. Let's welcome Dr. Wong.
Good morning, Manchester.
Good morning.
It's almost lunchtime. And as Dr.赵软金delivered a heavy lunch main course, I will just deliver a small size of sweet dessert to you. Right? That's, I believe, it will help you absorb Dr. Zhou's message. It's quite impressive and heavy to digest, but I believe many of us will get benefit from him. And interesting, some part of my presentation today you may find quite familiar with his concept. I believe we have called quantum link. Sometimes people may think quite similar at even similar time. And when I lectured many years ago at the university in Australia, and one of my students shared a story and said, Dr. Wang, can you explain why many of my classmates menstruate at similar time after studying in the same class? Have you observed that phenomenon yourself? Are you familiar with that? Right? So that's quantum link. Right? And even from different families. Right? The other quantum link is twins. Right? If one of the twin is suffering, the other one also suffering at the same time, right? Almost same time. That's also quantum link. Right? So as TCM practitioner, we have been paying a lot of attention about this, but we, in the ancient time, the TCM grandmasters don't use the term of quantum physics, but as I learn more about quantum physics with my father-in-law, he's a professor of physics and in a big university in China, and I understand a bit more about traditional Chinese medicine in a scientific way. Right? We don't have to have the modern scientific endorsement, but living in contemporary society, we need a better language to communicate with the mainstream. Right? So that's important to learn a bit of modern contemporary communication tools from science and modern medicine to reinforce what we're doing. Right? But at the same time, we don't lost our core, the foundation of Chinese medicine. So many Chinese medicine practitioners nowadays, especially in China, I'm proud to say, lost the traditional foundation of Chinese medicine and going too much the pharmaceutical-oriented medicine, where it's not really TCM. Right? Today, I'd like to share some idea about how can we, coming back to the origin, the Yangtze River, the Yellow River is flow from the Himalaya region. We need to go up there to find what we can get. The not polluted water. It's the original beauty of water. Right? So that's why my title today, using a bit of French, the psycho-neuroimmunology, Chinese medicine, Aboriginal medicine. Right? So not means I want to use psycho-neuroimmunology to overcome, to umbrella the beauty of Chinese medicine. Instead, I like to use that the modern cross-discipline concept and principles to interpret, to enhance, and to reinforce Chinese medicine study and practice in a contemporary platform. So that's my purpose. What is the definition of psycho-neuroimmunology? It's quite simple. It's the cross-disciplined subject where combined psychology, neurology, and immunology. So, to blend these three subjects together into one, and in 1981, Robert Adler first coined that terminology of psycho-neuroimmunology. But if you carefully look at the content of this subject, it's not very new to the old-fashioned way of traditional Chinese medical practice, where shame and emotions and 经络 system and 正气 theory, all part of this, but not limited to this. Right? So, however, since the Chinese Cultural Revolution from 1960s, Chinese medicine hasn't been practiced in the way it should be. Even in our clinical settings, most patients coming to see you is thinking more biological solutions rather than social behavior solutions, which is a better form of medicine to need to be practiced. I remember in 1970s, I was still very little, but I read the academic reference. The World Health Organization has endorsed the model of medicine to be social behavior and biological model. Right? How many people heard that model? Social behavior and biological model. Right? It has been, thank you very much. It has been highly recommended to the mainstream medicine. However, how many doctors nowadays are capable to practice that model? Maybe 1%, even less. So, but Chinese medicine, I believe, in the original form, it has been the form of social behavior and biological model. So today I'd like to challenging together with you to go back to the origin and to see the true beauty of traditional Chinese medicine to be practiced in an original way. There's two big pillars of Chinese medicine. Right? We have two big power weapons. One is called the holistic concept. The other one is called individual differentiation. 整体观念和辩证施治。However, few people in the clinical setting apply that concept in a very traditional way. Right? So, give you an example. When the person is happy, every cells in the body should be happy too. Maybe not immediately, and maybe in few hours time, few days time, and so as Dr. Ran mentioned earlier about how important to harmonize Shin to treat cancer. So cancer is not separate from the holistic being. Cancer is part of the human being. So as TCM practitioner, try not to tricked by the pharmaceutical medical model, just focus the manifestation of the cancer. Try to look after the whole person rather than just treat the manifestations. Right? That's the key. For my 26 years clinical experience, I help hundreds of patients recovering from terminal disease, and by applying that concept, it's called the holistic concept. Right? As TCM practitioner, we also need to understand the whole immune system. Right? For instance, right, in the old acupuncture textbooks, we don't see the point around that thymus region, right? Where it's important in modern traditional Chinese medicine practice, we can apply the deep understanding of the immune system of modern medicine to helping us select points, right? For instance, and the point along the ring meridians, right? Especially ring 17, about ring 17, and around that region has a strong T cell. If you want enhanced T cell, you need apply some acupuncture point there, right? In the traditional acupuncture chart, we don't see the points there, but in the 2 points in between, we can apply a gentle stimulation, right, to enhance the T cell production, right, if we need to. Right. Other points, such as the backstroke points, right, of urine blood meridian, and can be carefully selected to harmonize the internal balance and also enhance. I like to say harmonize the immune system rather than enhance, as Dr. Zhao mentioned earlier. Some stage we may not need to reinforce the immune system, right? So TCM, the key to TCM is to neutralize, to harmonize rather than to over enhance immunity, right? As discussed just earlier about the mushroom story, right? So as TCM practitioner, it's better to use 辩证论治, right? Differentiation according to individuals' current condition rather than just one formula to apply to everybody. Right? So that's key part of the practice. Right? And also, with a deep understanding of neurology, I like to share a bit of important acupuncture points we can apply to treat cancer in a neurological understanding, neurological way. Right? So to use 华佗夹击 point. Are you familiar with the 华佗夹击 point? Right? 华佗夹击 point is the point along the spinal cord. Right? It's about 0.5 zoom, parallel to the dual meridian. Right? It is my understanding and clinical feedback. It's very important points to helping harmonize the neurological performance of the human body. Acupuncture, neurological perspective is very important part of acupuncture practice. As Professor Wang, it's a PhD of neurology, and he may share a bit more about this. But in contemporary TCM practice, we often ignore the power of neurological power. Right? Where 2,000 years ago, 华佗, are you familiar with 华佗? 华佗initially invented this extra point, right, to enhance some clinical therapies, right, and where we need to get this original beauty back to our contemporary practice. So part of my dessert is Aboriginal bush medicine today to you. Practice Chinese medicine in Australia. I met many Aboriginal healers. I call it healers because they're not entitled to be a doctor or practitioner. But they use bush medicine, they use herbs to heal. And then the difference between Aboriginal bush medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. Right? Traditional Chinese medicine is a well-developed system of health care. Right? Far from 3,000 years ago till now, where many other folk medicine has been disappeared. Why only Chinese medicine and few other forms of folk medicine or traditional medicine survive and still developing? It's the main reason, my personal understanding is that Chinese medicine well developed a system where we can rely on. Aboriginal medicine is different. No system is mainly grandparenting knowledge and experience. However, I managed in the last 12 years, I visited many Aboriginal villages and tribes, interviewed many of the elders, and to get some ideas where their ancestors passed to them, and then to enhance Chinese medicine pharmacopoeia and to enhance our clinical treatment. Similar to Dr. Zhou's concept, Aboriginal use a lot of aromatic herbal medicine too, right? But in a different. For instance, that's the common things they used. 90% of them aromatic wool, and most of them growing in the tropical region of Australia. And there's a lot of scientific approved endorsement about this. University of Greifswald Research Center in Berlin, Germany, and sent a research team to Australia, and also I believe Queensland University, Australia, also able to develop an anti-cancer formula from the bush medicine in recent years. And that's the group of people, Aboriginal nurse and community care, and then the important to see the Aboriginal people living in a very spiritual way, where when they treat the sick people, they not only just give the medicine to fit them, right? It's a lot of spiritual therapies there, and dance, music, and other spiritual. I was impressed too, right? So that's one of the elders. Right? So in summary, traditional Chinese medicine and psychoneuroimmunology, it can be one of the best combination in nowadays, right, to present Chinese medicine in a way where the mainstream can understand a bit better, right? Rather than using yin and yang, using qi, using the other terminology where the modern scientific industry cannot understand, right? So I encourage you to study a bit more about psychoneuroimmunology, where they theoretically developed, but practically not many people practice that concept. In the last 12 years, I managed to put this together, right? Like psychology is TCM Xing and emotional care, right? 情治病, right? 五情五志, right? 七情六欲, right? Neurology TCM 经络 system meridian, right? Immunology TCM 正气 theory and practice, right? In conclusion, what challenges us today is about the etiology and pathology of cancer. The WHO's definition of etiology for cancer is mainly still biological focused, genetic factors, lifestyle factors, and certain type of infections, and chemical and radiation. Right? That's from World Health Organization. Right? Mentioned zero about the spiritual aspect of cancer. I believe 80% of chronic cancer in mature adults if you track carefully, have some type of traumatic mental history or experience. How many people think that is the way of understanding the etiology, right? So almost 80% of chronic case. Right? So that's about the deep understanding of the etiology. Right? Without deep understanding of etiology, how can you create a treatment effectively? Right? How can you create a powerful, effective treatment? Right? That's why using the 80-20 rules in the Western popular terminology, 80% of cancer do not respond to the current chemo, radio, and surgical treatment. Right? Only 20% may respond, may get benefit. Right? And 80% of the practitioners not capable to practice the medicine, either the Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine in a way to blend social behavior and biological medicine together. And that's why it's so important today. We're gathering here together, not just for us. I believe, as Dr. Yuhong Xie said, the purpose of this conference is to enhance a better understanding of cancer in an alternative way, and then to be able to benefit more patients globally. I'm grateful today I traveled from down under Australia to Manchester, the city. I really like it. Yesterday I delivered a song to the gala dinner to helping enhance people from everywhere, to enhance people's strength and spirit. I believe together with the other program of dancing and music, we can get the psycho-neuroimmunology into a real world. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your lovely dessert. Okay. Let's have two questions. Yes, please.
Thank you very much for this lovely lecture. Do you believe that, according to the Aborigine theory or practice, do you believe cancer then is a shaitan, is an evil, or is it biological?
Aboriginal people believe everything, every disease, part of spiritual disharmony. That's why they apply spiritual healing first, and then bush medicine secondary.
What do you think?
Myself,
Yes.
as I said, 80-20% rules. I believe 80% of chronic cancer in mature adults. Right? When I say mature adults, some genetic issues, genetic factors of different type of cancer may be purely genetic, right? Pure biological, but 80% of cases I met can track back some history, experience of mental, emotional disturbance.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. One more question?
Thank you, Dr. Wang. Thank you for the informative session. Given that you love Manchester City so much, and I think partly because the weather is really lovely, but we rarely have opportunity to say so in Manchester because it rains so much all the time. And compared with the weather and the overall environment in the UK and in Australia, do you think any environmental factors might cause some problems for local people in the UK? Especially as you mentioned emotionally, so would you like to share any thoughts on that? Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a beautiful question. So today is this visit is my second visit to Manchester. Last year I spent about a week after the conference traveled UK. And then this year I spent a week traveled Europe, other part of Europe. I'm going to spend another week to observe some the natural beauty and also the environment factors and connections with the cancer. Right? So my observation in UK, for instance, UK is quite damp, cold country, right? So we're in the most part of the northern Europe is the same, right? So that creates a damp, cold stagnation, right? Where Dr. Zhao mentioned earlier exactly the same thing, right? Stagnation and stasis is one of the main biological pathology. When we're talking about pathology, it's very important pathological factors for cancer. Right? Apart from spiritual, emotional, mental disturbance, and that's part of the environment we need to take care of that. Right? So in terms of TCM treatment, we may apply more aromatic warm formulas in winter time, and we may combine moxibustion more than the country Singapore, Malaysia, right, where moxibustion may be not necessary, right? So in this country, we definitely need a formula and strategy to eliminate damp cold. So that's different. So TCM already mentioned that 2,000 years ago, treat the patient accordingly from geographic location, from cultural background, and then even from dietary habits. So because I only got time to share the dessert, so next time maybe I can share a bit more about other dishes with you.
Thank you, Dr. Wang. Then hopefully after Dr. Wang's speech, we all could remember the unique English name, psychoneuroimmunology. That's my first achievement today. Okay, thank you, Dr. Wang and Dr. Zhao, the first session presentation. Now we have a tea break. Before the tea break, we could invite everybody to go back to our hall for a photo together. Then we have a tea break. Our next session will start exactly 12 o'clock.